Welcome to Veteran State of Mind. I'm your host, Geraint Jones. Got a guest in the studio today, kind of, on a massive screen. Joining me all the way from... Are you in Liverpool?
Yeah, I'm still here.
He's still in Liverpool. Ste Nicholls, how you doing, brother?
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Good, mate. I'm sorry we couldn't do this in person, but I'm not going to lie to you, mate. Just the time, this last couple of years, it's been one of those really weird ones, mate, where, like, for a while, nothing was happening. It felt like nothing was happening treading water. In the last couple of months, mate, everything's been 100 mile an hour. But I didn't want to keep putting it off, mate. Even if we couldn't do it in studio, I wanted to get...
We've been putting it off for 3 years.
But it's been a while. It don't feel like you, mate. Does it feel... It don't feel like we've been mates for like 3 years, though, does it? It's kind of like...
longer than that. We've been planning to do this for a long time, you know what I mean? And then...
Well, podcast's only 3 years old, mate, so it can't be that long.
Well, we're planning on meeting anyway.
Yeah, well, exactly, mate. And we will do, mate. We will do. I'm determined to make some time. We've got a few people up in your area now, though. I think maybe we can justify a Veteran State of Mind meet-up to the old accountant. I think we need a little business meeting.
Yeah,
in the kitchen,
little messy one.
Sounds good, brother. So, for people who don't know you, can you give us the kind of the big picture?
Don't ask for that because I don't know where to start. Everyone says that. Say, give us an overview of your life and that.
Well, do you know why I asked, mate? Because it saves me having to come back and record the fucking... I used to do it myself, right?
Part 1, part 2, part 3.
I used to do it myself, and then I was like, why am I doing this? Well, I could just ask guests to do it. And then you come in, mate, with your backbone, telling me no. All right, you used to be in the army. I'll do it for you.
Dead hard.
When we were out in Iraq, mate, I always forget which one you were on. Were you on Telec 9 or 10 out there?
I was on Telec 9, yeah. I think, was I just after you?
No, I did 9 and 10, mate.
Yeah. Were you Warrior?
I was on the second one. I was in Snatch on the first one. Did the force protection coming out of the cob.
That's it, yeah. I did those Bulldogs. There was that mechanised number.
They came and went fast, didn't they?
Yeah, because we got smashed, mate. That's why.
I think everyone got smashed.
We started off in, I'm sure we were in like DS and then GS and then we swapped over to Snatch. And then we rolled one into a ditch and then we went Armour. Those Bulldogs. Got rattled by RPGs. And I think in the end we just binned it and started doing foot patrols. I mean...
There's lots to be said for foot patrols, mate.
It worked in Afghan.
Yeah. I mean, this idea of like, we've got something so we can use it, I think is often a big issue with any organisation, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. People think because you've got something, you got to utilise it. But I believe it was like when we were going out in Afghan and they're going, right, take this kit, that kit. And then most of the time we were just hopping from compound to compound. We didn't need it. It was actually a restriction to us, as you know what I mean? Like ECM and stuff like that. That brings back some memories, but it's just like the Yanks would just fall past the Americans. I can't say Yank, can I? Because you're American now, aren't I?
No, I'm not. Well, I'm not, mate. I am I'm transatlantic, mate.
Mate, you talked about benching before and you put 225, not 100. What the fuck's that?
Yeah, well, it's a big number, mate.
Is that for your other brothers, is it? Yeah?
No, it's a big number, so it looks more impressive.
Ripping the police, are we?
I use whichever one sounds more impressive, mate. You know. That's why I measure my dick in millimetres so I can have like a lot more numbers on there.
Yeah, man. No, 225. It just
We can argue a toss on that one, mate. The fact is that 225 is an impressive sounding number, and I am what you're referring to. I've got a theory that if you're a cop and you can't bench 100 kilo, that's when you start being a copper. Oh, he's having me on the thing here. All right, whatever you want to call him then. The filth. Oh, I shouldn't say that, should I? Only joking. Any cops listening, we love you, really. Mate, I want to come back to the first time I ever laid eyes on you, which was you did a video that went viral, right?
Yeah.
So, do you want to tell us...
Which one? The naked one or the one with the veteran?
What naked one? I've seen this one. Fucking hell, hang on. Pause the recording. The one with the veteran, mate. You made a very moving video for... Did you make it specifically for Lad Bible or did they pick it up?
No, that was for Lad Bible. They literally got all... Well, a lady called Elaine that runs the Legion in Liverpool. She was approached by Lad Bible, and they wanted to bring a young veteran in with an old veteran. And at first, they were looking at a young Navy girl and an older, well, would have been John Dennett as well. But she pushed for me to do it, and there's a bit of to and fro at first because I didn't want to do it because at the time I was in a really crap place. You know what I mean? I was in a bad place, and as you know, I had no confidence. I didn't even want to speak to no one. I didn't want to leave the house. You know what I mean? I was just getting by, going to work and stuff like that. But it's my missus that said, you might change someone's life, you might help someone. You know what I mean? And that's what started the journey a little bit. So yeah, I went down, did it. We filmed for like 2.5 hours, something like that. We were there for ages. You know what I mean? And he cut, I think it was 11 minutes from it. And I didn't realise it was that moving, to be honest. We filmed literally 8 months before Remembrance. On Remembrance Day. It was my first time ever going to a parade. I was in shit state. The guns went off and I fucking shit myself and I was in a bad place. And as I was leaving to get into the car, my phone was vibrating like mad. So I just switched it off, like, you know what I mean? When I come back to it, that's when I was inundated with messages and stuff like, mainly positive messages saying, you know, I've just watched this, it's made me feel better. And it hit like 5 million in the first 2 days or something like that.
Wow.
Didn't think anything of it. Literally 2 days, no, but it was about 2 or 3 days after I filmed it. I literally locked myself away for like 2 weeks. I was in a really dark place because I spoke about stuff for the first time. You know what I mean? That was quite a tough experience, but it's helped a lot of people. So self-sacrifice always helps, doesn't it?
Does, mate. How was the meeting a veteran for you of a like Second World War veteran, wasn't he?
Honour, absolute honour. You know what I mean? I spoke about it before. It was so easy, well, not easy, but it was easier for me to speak to him because he reminded me of me great uncle Ernie. You know what I mean? So when I was a kid, bunking school, used to go around to his. He was he did Normandy. You know what I mean? He was a tough boy, like. And I used to go around. He lost his wife, and he had a flat. He's on his Zimmer frame, hunched over. He had shrapnel all over him, and he was to sit there smoking 30 Super Kings Black. You know what I mean? And I used to go around there. The what you call it, the nets were yellow and like brick. I used to go around there, bunk school, go around there, sit there, eat me tuna butties, nicking ciggies off, and we used to sit there smoking. He used to tell me stories about how we hit the beaches, how we did this, how we did that. Talked about how to treat a woman, how to be a good man, how to be the alpha male and respect people around you and be a good person. So I went through life, and then I joined the military because of that. That was one of the reasons why I joined. So when I met John Dennett, because I lost my great uncle Ernie when I was in Belize, I got a bluey saying he passed and all that. I think he held on for me just enough time for me to pass off and get in, you know what I mean? So when I come back home, a bit lost because I lost him. As you do, you crack on, don't you? And then I met John Dennett, and it was like looking in the mirror with him. Well, in the mirror, it was like looking at my great uncle Ernie. So when I sat down, I was a bit taken back at first. He had to pause the filming a little bit because I just literally stared at him. Like I was looking at a ghost, you know what I mean? I was like, and then he come out with, how have you been? It's good to see you again. You know what I mean? Where's his Zimmer frame gone? What's going on? Like, you know what I mean? And started that banter, but we just literally 2 hours, me and him, John Dennett was pissed about. And so he's a funny guy, mate. He literally is. He's our mentality. You know what I mean? He literally just lays in and just goes for it, and he just rips the piss out of me. Like we speak quite regularly, like, and I think he's like 98 now, 99. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mate, we've had a couple on this podcast, and like because obviously growing up, we used to look, we'd see these old blokes at the Remembrance days or on TV or whatever, and that's how you saw him. You saw him as an old bloke. But now when you see him and you can talk to him at length, you were like, you see the young lad that they were.
Yeah, you see yourself.
Yeah, and the lads that you served with. And I think, to me, mate, like, that's really changed the whole way that I've saw the war. Because I always used to think that it was adults going through it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was young boys.
They were younger than us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like my missus said, she goes, before I met you, I always thought that a veteran was like an old man with a rack of medals and his berry on, sat in a wheelchair. But then she was when I met you, and I see you with all your mates. You're there with medals on the parade, and you know what I mean? It's weird. You're a veteran and all that. I'm like, it took me a long time to get used to that being called a veteran.
Well, just think what this country would have been like, mate, in like 1946, with tens of thousands of combat veterans who are under 21 years old.
Yeah.
Mad. Like, it's just mad to get your head around, because we all think of, it's so hard to not see them as these old, like, noble blokes with the medals on at Remembrance Sunday, but most of them were still under 21 years old, so many of them.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think we'll ever really, because they didn't do podcasts or TV or anything like that, so, like, their conversations are gone. But their conversations were probably in working man's clubs and down the pub and things like that, but it would have happened.
That's it, yeah.
You know, like, did that conversation for you then, did that change the way that you thought about talking about war and change your attitude towards talking about things?
Yeah, it was painful. It was painful talking about it, because the drive home, I was just breaking down constantly into tears, because I actually talked about some stuff to him that I've never spoken about before to no one. You know what I mean? And even when he came to my podcast and we did the 40-minute longer one, he opened up to me as well off camera about some things that he had to do and that he's seen and stuff like that. I won't indulge it, because obviously that's his story. You know the score. But he told me some things, and I was like, "That's horrific. That is literally horrific what you've had to go through, and you've held that in for what? How many years? You know what I mean?" And he goes, "Yeah, but now I speak about it to you, I feel better about it." And that just sums up talking. That just sums up what we're all going through as well. You know what I mean? If he's held that in for so many years, what's he say? It took him 40 years to forgive the Germans. And it's like, that's a long time to be hateful. You know what I mean? I've spent, 37 years being hateful. Not with the army, just in life in general, just being a fucking horrible bitter little bastard, you know what I mean? But it's a long time to have an enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mate, it's one of those, like, myths in it that, they didn't used to suffer from it, or whatever. You know, they didn't suffer. They just got on with it. Well, no, that's not true. I think so many of them held it inside. That doesn't mean you don't suffer. It just means you don't tell people you suffer.
That's it. But the thing is, that's just the I can't be bothered asking, I can't be bothered helping mentality. And that's what we suffer with today as well. Not us, but a lot of civilians will look at a thing and go, they're not bothered enough, they're fine. Don't worry about it, they're fine. No, just ask, because you might change life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do feel, mate, as well. Like, you look at, you know, how many people after the Second World War, for instance, just use that as an example. You know, how many people ended up battering their wife for life, or how many people ended up drinking or smoking 30 fags a day.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that probably had something to do with the war, mate. Like, you know,
the back of my house, well, about 2 mile away, we've got a place called Ashworth Hospital, and it's for the like schizophrenia and criminally insane and stuff like that. I've got a room booked in, and what's called that was the first mental health hospital built in the UK for World War II veterans, service leavers. And there's an old dirt track. It's a new build estate now, but it's an old dirt track that they used to lead them off them, like where the old motorway was, lead them up there with the bags, take them into the hospital. And that's when they never used to do like shock treatment or, you know, that medieval shit. You'd actually sit them down, talk to them, and give them therapy and stuff like that. It was the first hospital that ever did it, because literally it was about, I think it was 5 years ago, they've opened up a statue at the back of it. Because I went down with, who was it now? Granada, to open up. And it's a old nurse, helping an injured veteran, like holding him up, like walking him into the hospital. Yeah, I shed a tear, mate.
Yeah, mate, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's so fucking important to remember that stuff, mate.
Yeah, it is.
And not just the veterans as well, mate. I think this is something that I'm sure you agree with me on here is, like, for every veteran that's had a fucking shit time coming home, that's a family that's had a shit time too.
Yeah.
And not just that, mate. Like, how many other people just, like, when you're just in that place, you just leave a wake of destruction behind you.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like, so, you know, it's not just about, you know, and this isn't just exclusive to veterans, mate. It's just anyone going through a shit time. You know, you don't go through it in a bubble. It's one of the things I always say to people, mate, when they're like, well, I don't want to be a burden to other people. I don't impact other people. It's like, you are. Like, right now, you are. So, be like, if you're going to do it, be doing it because you're trying to get better.
Yeah.
Because one way or another, you're going to be going through it. But before we go down this route a bit more, mate, let's go back to your service, mate, because you know, you did a couple of tours in one of the Army's busiest times since the Second World War, really. So, when was it you joined up, and who was it you joined?
I went in 2004, and I joined the Royal Green Jackets. Went to Catterick, and did the usual 6 month thrashing, and then that was me straight to battalion, which was based in Wheaton Barracks, 1st Battalion, and I think it was about 3 months into my training, and I fucking hated it. I did not want to be there one bit. I was like, what am I doing here? Like, the jobs background round ours was shit. Well, saying that, a lot of people say that they weren't. I was just fucking too lazy and too much of a little shit to actually try and get somewhere, you know what I mean? I qualified as an engineer. I did my time as an engineer, got my qualifications, and I hated it. And that's why I went away. I wanted to be like my Uncle Ernie, you know what I mean? I wanted to be a good man, do the noble thing, take the fight to the enemy, and do my bit not for the country. I've never say the country. That's my opinion, but are those for the people around me? You know what I mean? The people that I love. You know what I mean? It's not about fighting for the country and saving the country. It's about showing, in my eyes, it's about showing people around me, my loved ones, the people that are struggling at the time, what a human being is capable of doing. And that was what it was always about. It was always about me proving to myself and all people around me what I was capable of doing. And I always had to excel, if that makes sense. Like, not in like an academic sort of way, but in like a muscly strength, like run further, lift more, be that alpha male, you know what I mean, and box harder and fight harder and stuff like that. And then life takes a spin because now I'm an engineer again, full-time engineer, and I'm just trying to be as calm as possible and be a nice person. You know what I mean? It's hard nowadays with the amount of bellends running around, but try and be a good person for your family, don't you?
Sometimes, mate. Sometimes it's fun to let that little dickhead back out the cage. You know what I mean? But no, I get where you're coming from. So like, it's kind of like it's what you'd consider traditional masculine virtues.
Yeah. It's,
you know
what? We'll probably cross over this question in a minute. But while it's fresh in my head, it's like, I don't know about you, but you might be like a bit like me, where is your military career is a double-edged sword. It's a burden on you. The medals on your chest are a curse and a burden. It's painful. It's memories. It's the loss of mates. It's a loss of a lot of things. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm glad I joined when I did, because I did the things that I did. So when I can look back on my career and go, do you know what? I went in there and I had the opportunity to be the best soldier I could be and fight the best fights I could be in. And for me to now grow from that and teach those stories and those beliefs and those lessons to my kids, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel very lucky, mate, to have got to go. Like, don't get me wrong, at the time,
it was shit.
When I was on Telek 9, well, it wasn't shit, mate. Like, but when I was on Telek 9, mate, when you were there, I was really frustrated that I wasn't with the King's Battle Group, which is why I stayed on for the second tour. So, but even, it's weird because like now, objectively looking at it, I'm like, I still got to do more on that tour than most people get to do in a career. Yeah. Even though to me it was a shit tour, I still got to do more. And I do think that we were very lucky with our times of when we got to serve, mate. But it's one of those things, and this sounds weird for someone having a podcast called Veteran State of Mind who writes books about the military and stuff. But as more time has passed since the military, I just see more positives than I do negatives from it.
Yeah.
Because I would hate to have a life where I wasn't a soldier, and I would hate to have a life where I never got to deploy. I just can't imagine what my life would be like. Those experiences, mate, kicked off and became the catalyst for so much growth.
Yeah.
That I just think I would be living. I know exactly where I would be, mate. I would be a teacher, or I would be a cop.
Copper.
And this is probably one of the reasons I have such an issue with coppers. Like, I'd be one of those jobs, mate. And I'd be turning up for work every day, and I'd never be fucking doing anything that I really wanted to be doing. And I'd get to the end of my life, and I'd fucking die, and that would be it. Like, I wouldn't have had any of the other experiences that I've had. I wouldn't have the job that I wanted. None of that. If it hadn't have been for the fact that war kind of kick-started all that stuff off.
But we grow from pain, don't we? We get outside our comfort zone and we grow from that. And if you don't learn from it, then it's a wasted pain. And that's why I went on so many podcasts talking about my pain from the military and pain from this and pain from that, because it's like business. People turn around and say, oh, if go and read the biography, go and do this, go and do that, fail 8 times, fail 10 times, fail 1,000 times, get yourself in loads of debt. Well, mental health and stuff like that. If you're not going to listen to my stories and help, you mean it's like I've been through pain for no reason. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
If I'm not gonna try and help someone with it, it's just a way. To me, it was a waste of time going through those dark years. You know what I mean?
That's a great way of putting it, mate. Because I think it was Greg Anderson. I saw a post about this the other day, basically. Because I mean, I don't agree with the fact that you should shed all of your identity from the military, because I think it's a big part of you. I don't think it should be all consuming, but it is a big part of you and something to be proud of. But I was talking with, we just had Keith on from Dead Reckoning Collective, and we were talking about, how the military spends so much money on you and spends so much time training you. A lot of people kind of like, when people stay on and work on the circuit, or if people go into, companies like Ollie Ollerton's, like Breakpoint, some people will be like, kind of have like a bit of a chip on their shoulder about those companies. And so, well, why? It's the same way as someone that goes and studies for a PhD uses that PhD. If you've been to war 3 or 4 times, you got a PhD in war.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you use that? And, and that's the same, mate. It's with, like you said, you can have a PhD in overcoming life issues. That can be a PhD. So, like, it's only a waste if you don't put it into practice. And one of the best ways of putting it into practice is with other people. But
yeah, of course.
I'm sure this wasn't probably that on your mind that much at the time, though, is it? Because when you're in the military, I don't think really this isn't a conversation 2 squaddies would have had when they were on tour, right?
No,
we would have been saying like, "What DVDs have you got to watch tonight?" Or
your bird's getting smashed.
Yeah, we'd be talking to something about that, mate. So when you were out in Iraq, then what was your first tour? Telic 9, was it?
Yeah. I did Belize. I did exercise in Belize, and then I was straight out. Well, that was pre-deployment training for Iraq.
Were you disappointed to not have deployed? To when your Uncle Ernie was still alive. Was that something that you kind of wanted to have happen? Come back from tour, see have your Uncle Ernie and that.
Yeah. I wanted to speak to him before I went, and it was mainly to see his reaction, because obviously it was on the other foot then, because he obviously had to say goodbye to his family and all that, and then to see the actual thought of a veteran of his stature to wave me off, if so to speak, and then when I come back home to wave me back home again, it would be an honour, because he's gone and done it for us, and then I'm going to do it for him. You know what I mean? So it would have been nice, but it was always in my thoughts when I went out there and when I come back, and when I was out there fighting. When it was like we were getting big contacts, and we were like, I remember one day we were out by this school, and it's open in this loads of dead ground, and literally we took a 360 ambush, and we were just three bulldogs just pinned down, and we're getting hammered. Absolutely hammered. And I just sat there going, "This is fucking horrendous." You know what I mean? And I just thought to myself, like, what would he do? He was on the beach, for fuck's sake, getting the same treatment. You know what I mean? So I was like, just before you know it, you fought your way out of it. And even today, when I feel like I've had to stand up today in front of a load of people and do a big like brief, you know what I mean? A big O group, if you like. And I lost my confidence, as you know, when I got back from the military. When I got the military, but now I've got like mechanisms in my head that I use. Well, when I was a soldier, I stood in front of 100 people. I did rifle lessons. I did this. I did that. You know what I mean? It's like, well, why can't I do it now? And it's literally, I think of my Uncle Ernie and I overcome, and it's life lessons. It's still to this day, I'm picking them from my younger self, what I used to be able to do to better my older self, which is a weird thing. You should be already in that, better than that stage, but with trauma and bad memories, you go backwards a little bit, don't you? But yeah, I always everything I do, I always think about someone like my Uncle Ernie, even John Dennett watching me. You know what I mean? Like, not making them proud, but trying to be at that standard, trying to be at that level. You know what I mean? Like, they went to war when they were 14, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Smashed it and come home. You know what I mean? And they lied to get out there. They lied about their age to get out there and fight. And we're like stood in a recruitment office at the age of fucking 19, 20, being told that, you need to do one more squat. Like, fucking hell, mate. You know what I mean?
Did he give you any lessons that you always used to kind of remember in the back of your head when you're on tour and stuff? Like, did he ever give you lessons about more, not like like kind of like a fully tactical lesson, but just little things that stuck in your head that you always kind of kept in mind when you're on tour?
A few things, yeah, but they weren't like anything to do with fighting or war or anything like that. You know what I mean? It was always stuff like, always have your heart on your sleeve, because you never know what someone's thinking about you and what they're going through. And another one was, but when you get out there, always tuck it away, because no one gives a shit, and then deal with it when you come back home. And if I actually thought about that advice when I come back home, I probably would have had an easier time when I got back, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It was like little subliminal messages that he used to give me that I should have listened to, you know what I mean? But as a kid, you're like, whoa, it fucking doesn't matter. I'm going to get back. I'm just going to smash loads of ale. And I'm going to do naked press-ups in a bar, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? And, shit on the pool table, go on, you know what I mean? But instead, it was like, it's just out of hand, you know what I mean? As you know.
My granddad gave me one. He said, because he was in the bombers and that, he said that they always used to get attacked as they were coming back over to Britain, because the crews used to switch off.
Yeah.
So that was one that always stuck with me. Like towards the end of the patrols, I'd be like, I'm not going to switch off. I don't get fucking killed just before that 100, that last few 100 meters, mate. So like that kind of stuck with me and stuff. I know it sounds mental, like, and it's not to say that like we actually want this, but do you ever have these thoughts in your head of like, I wish I had served in the Second World War and around that period and with those blokes?
In a way, yes and no. You know what I mean? It's I always imagine myself being in that position, because people say, "Oh, back then," you get the uneducated people go, "Back then, World War One, Two were 10 times worse than they are now." Well, they were and they weren't. If that makes sense, in my opinion, you know what I mean? Like for them back then in the trenches and the beach and stuff like that, that was fucking horrendous living in those conditions. But for the generation nowadays, I believe our generation has got weaker. Not our generation, but from then to now, we're different people. You know what I mean? We've got more luxuries. We've got more light. We've got, we put a tea bag in a cup and we make a brew. That's it. They hang their tea bags out to dry once they've used them 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? It's that kind of life that they lived then. That was normal. They were outside their comfort zone a lot more, so they're just more durable, more tested people back then. Like my granddad and my nan, even my nan, used to go into the sheds and make ammunition. You know what I mean? Like it was normal. Whereas we're a bit more delicate with our luxuries and stuff around us. So I think they're around about the same thing. But the way they lived in trenches and stuff like that.
Not that, mate. What I kind of envy is the idea that you all had a real clear purpose. Not just you, the whole fucking nation had a clear purpose.
You're all on the same page.
All on the same page, mate. Knew you were fighting it right for you. Knew what you were doing was a just cause. And knew that you had that to be proud of for the rest of your life. That you changed the course of human history in a good direction.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I got, just from a purely point of view as well, of just being a young man, the thought of seeing, because I mean, mate, fucking hell. And again, this is something I'm very grateful for. When we did the ops on Telek 10 and we stand up on my warrior before we went out and just look back down the line of warriors and bulldogs and Charlies and just be like, fucking rigid right now. Rigid. I mean, this is just, but because just to be in that. So to have been in that position in the Second World War, the skies are full of planes. You've got you're out with the lads, like, let's say you're in North Africa and you're looking down to the right and it's just fucking vehicles and there's vehicles behind you and you're there with the young boys and there's fucking bombers coming overhead and fighters coming overhead. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying, obviously, a lot of the battles they went through were hell, but I'm just saying, being realistic for a young bloke, like, as a young bloke and you saw all that machinery around you, you would have been fucking mega, mate.
Just sounds like a really good pre-workout, doesn't it?
It does, mate. I'm ready to go. Although, on this podcast, we use combat fuel pre-workout, mate. So no Second World War pre-workout sale on here. But, that's the thing. When you speak to a lot of Second World War veterans, mate, it's not like they hated it all the time. A lot of them enjoyed, parts of it. And why wouldn't they? They're just human beings.
Yeah.
And human beings get excited.
Don't get me wrong. It's like when we were out in Afghan and you put your Osprey on, you play carriers or whatever, and like you get in the gate and it's like, you bang a mag on and all that, and you start the gate and you're ready to go and you're looking alley as fuck, and then you got that front gate, hard target out, and then like you get into position, and then you move off. You're like, yeah, we're fucking cool. We are. You know what I mean? We are fucking cool. Like we've had casualties for the past fucking 3 weeks, but you still got in your head like, keen, fucking alley as fuck. Moving forward, these cunts are getting it today. You know what I mean? And it's just that feeling of like, it's not power. It's not a power trip or anything like that. It's that feeling of, I am at my fucking peak. You know what I mean? And I'm going to fucking windmill this fucking little shit town to the fucking floor. You know what I mean? And then it's when you come away from it and you come back home and you're like, and you sit down in your Z-type, because we were posh, we had Z-types. You sit down in your bed, you're looking around, and you're like, this is shit. You know what I mean? It's like, yesterday I was fucking cool. Now I'm back in Combat 95.
There's something as well, mate, about when you're young and you're fit.
Still am.
And you put your webbing on. Yeah, well, I mean, all right, we got a bit of miles on us, mate. But, you know, you stick your Osprey on, you got your webbing on, you stick your day sack on, you got your weapon, you got your helmet squared away, nice bit of scrim on there. And like you said, you look the part. But you know when you feel the weight on you and you know it's not an issue.
Yeah.
And you just, like you said, mate, you just know, like you just feel like a specimen.
Yeah.
And I always wondered this, mate, looking at people that were in clip on tabs and stuff, and just think like, do you not want to get yourself squared away and get fit?
Exactly.
Exactly. Like you're taking all the enjoyment out of it. Like, because like, you get an amazing feeling when you're just cruising on a fucking tab. And then you look at someone that's in clip and think like, this is your job. Why wouldn't you want to get good at it?
Perfect example of that. I remember I got to battalion, and I think it must have been like my 6th week or something like that. I can't remember. And we had Paul McAleese was one of our screws. You know what I mean? John McAleese's son. And I had a fella called Tui as well. All big names, all powerhouses, all amazing squads. So you couldn't be shit. And it was like, but at that time, it was like, I want to be like you. So I want to be fucking better. I've got a lot to live up to. I always remember our platoon sergeant is Telraf. He's a legend of a man. You know what I mean? And I remember we were at the front. We were doing an 8 miler. It wasn't, no, tell a lie. It was about a 12 miler, and we were doing it around the tank tracks in the back of Wheaton Barracks. Blowing, absolutely blowing. You know what I mean? Because we've gone from like Catrick fit to fucking battalion fit. You know what I mean? Absolutely blowing. And he turned around and he goes, Nico. I went, yeah, Sarge. He goes, how's it feel? And what do you mean? He goes, you're getting paid to be a fucking machine. And oh my God, fucking something come out the end of it, mate. You know what I mean? I was like, fucking oof. Like that. He's going, boss, and it's a good feeling, isn't it? I went, and it clicked in my head, that cog, that old rusty cog that wasn't used, just come into place. And it was like, I'm being paid to be the best I can be. And then, apart from me down days and me dark days where I went off the rails a lot, right now, I'm more tuned in now than I was probably when I was serving. Because I'm like, I'm not being paid to be the best I can be. I'm doing it for free. Because I love it that much, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to be the best I can be. I'm going to eat the best foods I can eat. And I'm going to fucking run as far as I can. I'm going to lift as much as I can. And I'm just going to be the best I can be. I'm going to be that machine, you know what I mean? Always chasing my last mile, always chasing, you know what I mean? And it's those words that he gave me that made me go on to be the best I could be at that time, you know what I mean? The things that rage me on now more is family. I've got a good home base now, which I never had, you know what I mean? I've got a really good home base, got my wife, got my daughter. And every time the weakness starts to creep in, I'm like, just keep going. Think of them, and I think about the fallen, and I feel invincible. I get that pre-workout feeling, you know what I mean, where it's just like running naked down the road, fucking cammed up in my fucking own blood with an hard on, like, rash.
Well, mate, I've got a treadmill. If you want to come run on there naked, you're welcome anytime.
What, yours?
Yeah, come on there, mate. There's no dress code in there.
You bring the treadmill, I bring the vodka.
It's just purpose, though, innit, mate?
It is.
You know that you got to have that, and I wish someone had just talked about that more right now, because it's such a simple thing. But you don't know what you don't know.
That's it.
And now it's like, oh yeah, well, yeah, of course, purpose is important. Well, when did you ever hear anyone talk about purpose until a few years ago? And until you were shit state in your life, I never heard someone talk about, well, it's important to have purpose in your life. When do you ever talk about that?
Yeah, focus and drive. No.
Yeah, it's just, and it's mental, mate. But like, you know, when you're in the military, for people who were fit and were trying to be good soldiers, obviously they had purpose. I think the people who weren't never had purpose. They were there, they just happened to be there and they were getting a check. And now when I think about it, when I'm like, well, why were some people trying to do more and trying to be the best, you know, which is the old fucking slogan, the be the best, which I think was probably one of the best recruiting campaigns you've ever had. But there was those people, and then there was the people who were just like, didn't want to go out on ops, didn't want to do this. And well, it's because it wasn't their purpose.
Yeah.
When you were out on Telic 9, mate, we keep going off Telic 9, mate, but I do want to get a little bit in. I'll tell you why, mate, because some people listen to this and like, oh, I want war stories. All right, fine, you can have some fucking war stories. I tell you what, let's just make this really simple. Give the people a war story. give them a war date, mate.
When we were doing a strike up in Basra South, and we spent 2 days with 2-2. Because we were in Basra Palace, so we had a palace across the way. We were going in there for 2 days straight, going through clearance drills and CQB and stuff like that. Teaching us all these alley little tactics of where to put your rifle, how to sling it different, and it was just fucking hard. It was just porn, mate. You know what I mean? It was brilliant. And then we did a strike up, and it was basically Warrior took a wall out. We all pulled up, debussed. We piled up. We all stacked up against the wall. 2 went down. 2 went down through the roof. 2 went in through the back. Shotgun doors off. We went in. Fucking flash banged them. Went hell for leather. Got 2 POWs. Wrong house. Fuck's sake. Fucking next. Jumped the wall. Next door. Did it again. I was fucking loving it. You know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant. Got the target, like, and we did that. We did that for a couple of days. Funny war story is we were down by the OSB where the Kingos were. And we had, we pulled up, we debussed. Well, as we were about to debus, I was first man out, LMG and all that. And I was with the back door, because they weren't hydraulic. They weren't on a button like the Warriors. You had to literally, it's like an old submarine handle on the back of it. You had to push it out. It was heavy, you know what I mean? It's like a 50-kilo door. And when you're blowing, you try to get this fucking door open in the heat, like. And I jumped out, fucking, get straight out, fucking, let's get a fucking 5-spot position up, facing down the road, you know what I mean? And it just went black. And I hit the floor. And I went, you know, when you like go, you think you're in a dream and you're falling, but you actually stop. I was like, fuck, is this a dream? Oh, fucking hell. Am I even in the art? You know, you start questioning yourself. But the smell hit me. And I started spewing up. And then I could Del above me, Lance Jack, he's going, you fucking soft cunt. I was like looking up, and I jumped into a ditch, into a fucking hole in the floor, which is full of human shit. And it was up to me waist. And it was fucking, and they made me walk. They only let me back in the wagon. They made me patrol behind it 2 mile back in.
Fucking hell, you probably wishing that you got shot as well.
I was hoping for an ID that day.
That's disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was the same on every tour though, wasn't it? Because people are always like, I said this before, like there's like things that you worry about. It's like IEDs aren't on the top of it. Shit. Human shit.
From the boxes.
Why can't we be sent somewhere where people don't shit in public? Why is that so hard to pick a wall somewhere where people don't fill streets with shit? Is it too much to ask?
It's like Afghan. Every time I took up a firing position or took a knee, I put it into a human turd, mate. That's why I started wearing green kit. That's why I started wearing Combat 95 again, because it's just, you couldn't see it then.
It doesn't make it any better, mate.
I mean, knee pads. I didn't have knee pads on. I was just using human shit as knee pads, mate. It was fucking horrendous.
Mate, it's fucking that's an interesting form of Kevlar, just smearing yourself in shit. Fucking hell,
it was
mate.
Fucking gopping, mate. Horrible. I still smell it today.
The size of some of those shits in Afghan.
For little fellas, like fucking shin bones, mate. I mean,
I wonder if that is the key to their success, mate. That they're warrior race. It's like you can measure a warrior race on the size of their shits.
Have a sword fight with it.
Sometimes we put all round protection in on a shit so everyone could have a turn to come up and have a look at it. Because you're like, you're never going to see this again in your life. This is some like fucking incredible stuff, mate. Like,
oh, mate.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because they fuck the shit out of each other when they're kids. That the assholes are just like a fucking bucket.
If they're packing it in and saving it, take about 3-4 days to get a good fucking tube of it, like, you know what I mean?
This is the clip we're using on social media to promote this one, mate. Like, right, because another episode we could skip. So that's all, mate, then. obviously it was for those that don't know. In fact, tell people, like, do you ever get a fucking bit wound up with people when because you've done Iraq, you've done Afghan, and I think the public know what Afghan was, but I don't feel like they really know what Iraq was. How do you feel about that?
I remember going to Manchester Museum, and they've got World War One, Two, and all through the wars and stuff like that. And they've actually got the Iraq War at our time, and they've got They've got the Osprey and Mark 6 Alpha helmet and everything laid out and all that. I think it's just time. I think time's taken over. We're going to that point now where Iraq is starting to become the past. You know what I mean? Afghan will soon become the past. Next, it'll be fucking whatever up to. You know what I mean? But I think it's age, mate. We're getting older. The next generation coming through, we're kids. You know what I mean? It's like my missus. I think she was in high school when on Christmas Day when we were blowing up that police station in Telek 9. I don't know if you remember that. Like we all the corrupt coppers, we threw them down there and we blew it up on Christmas Day. I remember because when we did it, we went back and they gave us a can of Foster's and some fucking makeshift fucking Christmas dinner, and then a fucking 81 come through the roof. We had about 14 bombardments of mortars. We had rockets. We had a rocket come through the side of one of the. It was the Colour Boys' room actually. We got fucking spanked that day. Like didn't even get me can of Foster's. We ended up having a fight with them thrown across the finger. You know, the standard Christmas Day shit.
Yeah, that because that IDF was obviously a big thing.
Yeah.
On that tour, particularly at the Palace. You know, and I think it was because a lot of people, obviously, their experience of Iraq in the early days, if you're at a big camp or whatever, was that, that was pretty chill, really. But there was, especially at the Palace, there was that constant thing of like, it wasn't as, it was different to Afghan because in Afghan, in the Sangas, or if you were in an open area, there was always that chance of a grenade coming over a wall or a sniper or an RPG airburst or something. That was always a thing there, which wasn't so much of a thing in Iraq. I mean, it obviously was to some degree, in some places and some Sangas.
Yeah.
But what was more of a threat was the IDF threat, the rockets and the mortars and stuff. And they're pretty good with them fucking mortars and the rockets.
Made the bang on. The fucking bang on. They were hitting the helipad every time. You know what I mean? The grouping them for mortars was brilliant.
Do you reckon they were locals? Do you reckon they were Iranian?
I think they're a mixture, to be honest. Because I remember we had a sniper on us at Dragunov, and he was pinging the wagons every time we left the gate. Every come out, that big arch. Every time we storming out of there, used to hard because as you know, you hard target the vehicles as well. Just fucking bomb out, and we was pinging off the driver's fucking hatch and everything. Every single time he was bang on, mate, absolutely bang on. And one day, my mate Wes, he was on the GPMG on the turret, and he took 7.62 off his helmet. And he put a channel right through across his alpha leg. And it turned out he was in the JDAM building. He had a big JDAM, we call it JDAM building, multi-story, but it had been levelled. He was in there, he was pinging us all the time. And in the end, we just opened up and dropped I think we put a fucking 500 pounder through it and got him like. And I don't know how true it is, but there's rumours that he was he was American.
Yeah, mate. So I did on that tour. I worked with Ato and Wiz quite a bit, and
yeah.
So I trust this gen because it was pretty good gen. But apparently there was one, because I don't usually like to use the term sniper because a lot of the times people use that for just some dickhead with an AK who fired one round, which is not, But there was a gen sniper. I think it was credited with like 7 kills on British blokes during that period.
Yeah.
It was the same guy because obviously, they do the autopsies and everything like that on the guys. And it's apparently the same dude. I don't know if that was that guy, right, or what, but but I mean, again, it's like, well, it's why not? I mean, we have guys that account for a lot of enemy kills. I'm sure it's obviously the same on the other side as well,
Yeah, of course it is.
When you were out on that tour then, mate, was there any points of it where you did start kind of thinking that maybe it was a bad idea for you to be in the army, or were you loving it?
No, loving it. Because a bit of a shit time at home. Wasn't the best childhood, you know what I mean? So when I was there, I was away from home. I was away from that past. I was away from everything. And I was with new mates. Well, weren't new mates. I've known them for a while before we got out there, you know what I mean? It wasn't a job, as you know. When you've done something so long, it's not really a career. It's life, you know what I mean? And That was why I struggled so much when I did leave the military, because it was just I was so like a duck out of water, you know what I mean? Fish out of water. It was just, still miss it today. But when I was out in Iraq, it was like, we were staying in Saddam's shower room, and the shower room, mate, was like, it was like the ground floor of my house. It was huge. We had 30 bunks in there, you know what I mean? All piled in there. Big, massive wooden doors. It opened up into a big, massive balcony which looked over the Shatter Arab. So we get in there, drop our kit off and all that, open these big wooden doors that are all reinforced. And go, fucking hell, look at this view here. Fucking palm trees and this river flowing, there's boats up and down. I thought, fucking hell, this is bullshit, this. Straight out, shirt off, biffed it in gob, feet up, way fucking, as this water bottle, you know what I mean? Frank Bruno and all that. Fucking colour boy comes out, where the fuck do you think you are, Costello? Fucking Iraq, get the fuck in there. Dragged me in, like, still a crow, wasn't I, you know what I mean? So I got towed back in, got a slap. I was like, yeah, you just keep those fucking doors shut. And I remember it must have been about 3 months in. One of our lads got shot. He survived, like, but he got pinged, and it just went underneath his osprey, got him in the kidney, and we had to do a CASEVAC and get him back in. So it was like 100 mile an hour down the MSR, you know what I mean? Got back in, got him sorted, got the murdered and that. So we were all like that, fuck it, got on the balcony, you know, super noodles and all the works that had been shipped over, the Alabo come out, yeah, just need a breather. And the colour boy had been pinged as well. So he'd been shipped back. He was, well, he's not going to come in and give me a slap again. He's not going to come in and get me off like that.
You took care of him.
So we fucking sound. And the next minute, fucking hit a, you know, obviously, what was the alarm called that used to go off? Is it the Sky Rammer?
Well, that was just that idea for alarm.
Yeah, don't. It's like fucking Silent Hill, mate. It goes through me. But anyway, that went off, and we were like, "That for fuck's sake, it's all right. It'll go behind us." You know, we were that fucking fucked off with it all, like at that time. And I just seen, you know, you see like the black flick go down in front of you. I thought, oh, fuck it, I'm got fuck it. Put my cig in my mouth, and the next minute it come back up again, and it was this fucking mortar spinning in front of us.
Fucking hell!
And everyone just hit the deck, and I went, fuck it. And I had plenty of time, you know what I mean? There's loads of time to get down. I was like, but I was adamant that was me going, that was my time. I was like, oh, fuck, it's time for me to go. And it come back down, and I looked over, and it's just sat there next to the fucking the Jinglies tent. I was like, fucking, I'll finish my birthday. Fucking, they all come piling out in the fucking controlled explosion and all that. My mate was in the Sangha at the time, right next to it. He was like, that could have come out, stay in there, you know what I mean? But yeah, we never went back on the balcony again, mate. Fuck that.
You know what, mate? As soon as you described that place or them, I could smell it.
Yeah.
I can see it. That little just shimmering water and the palm trees behind it and stuff, mate.
Yeah.
It's mad.
That river was beautiful. It was dead wide river. It was just like boats up and down. It was glorious. It was cleaner than the fucking Mersey. You know what I mean? It was like, well, it's not fucking hard, is it? But like
a few trolleys in there,
fucking Johnnies and tampons and stuff. But yeah, it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But we were always getting contacted.
I don't think you might have gone up the top of the city, mate, because obviously you were at the bottom end. For people who don't know, the Palace is pretty much the bottom right hand corner,
south, yeah.
The top left hand corner. Up that area, mate, all the villages and stuff, it's fucking gorgeous, mate. It was all like really nice irrigated areas, mate. Palm trees, waterways. You wouldn't want to live there.
No,
like, you know, there was no beachfront, proper nice Malibu beach houses or anything, but it was really pretty, mate. And then obviously you're driving out. Well, not an fucking hour. What am I talking about? Drive a mile the other way, and you're in the desert.
Yeah,
you know, and that was what's so mad about that place. It's, you know, because it really.
One extreme to the other.
Yeah, but it's all based.
It's like crossing into Wales from here. Just goes fucking terrible.
But it was like Afghan was the same way though, mate, wasn't it? It's like it's all down to irrigation. Because here, Britain, you don't have to irrigate fuck all because the country irrigates itself. But like, you know, so we got vegetation everywhere. Whereas in these countries, you know, it's all based around the waterways and it was really pretty, mate. And it does make you think, same as Afghan, don't you? You're like, God, what a shame. There's just fucking war on here all the time.
Well, there's certain parts of Afghan when we were in Sangin, where we were in Fob Jackson, and it was when it was calm, it was like green fields, green zones, little compounds, and little paths, and there's like people went about the business. And you're like, yeah, I can see why we're here to help them. You know what I mean? But when it went off, it was fucking nasty. You know what I mean? And then you go down like some back alley because it was like a rat race. You know what I mean? It was like a maze. As you know, because when we used to patrol most days from Fob Jackson to Whiston, taking kit in, or we were going to support them on patrols and stuff like that. and it was just literally shit in every corner, IDs in the walls, the fucking. And I always say it with Afghan, not so much Iraq, but with Afghan, because back then I was a screw. So as a commander, you had to, and I said it to all the blokes as well, you've got to think as satanic and as nasty and brutal and as just fucking horrible as you can every time you go on patrol. Think, how would you kill yourself on a patrol? And that's the only way we got through, because we literally do hanging IEDs from the trees, cables on pulling the trees to get the commander. They were packing them in the walls at night, so when the sun hit it, it dried up, and they were taking heads off fucking blokes. You know what I mean? It was vicious. It was more mentally tactical, if that makes sense. You could beat them if you fought like them. You know what I mean? As you know, completely different to Iraq. Like,
we'll have to talk about it informally on another one, but let me just ask you, like, now, like, do you ever find that you wanted to? Did you ever find yourself wishing, like, I wish I was on the, like, not on the other side as in fighting for their cause, but I wish the roles were reversed here, and that I got to be the one setting those traps and everything?
Yeah. If I think if we could fight the way they fought, it would be a very one way. You know, we would smash them. Like, one story when we were in Afghan, and the bloke's gonna fucking hate me for saying it. Like, we went out to do an ambush. We knew there was some fucking there's a team laying IEDs, and we found a ditch, and we laid up in it. It was about fucking 2 mile out from the camp, and from the fob, and we jumped in this ditch, and we laid up, and we went to radio silence, briefed up in radio silence, and we sat there. We had the cut-off points and everything. This ditch filled up, like fucking filled up with water. We were there fucking for hours, you know what I mean? And one of my lads, fucking top lad, absolutely brilliant lad, he had a touch of D&V. So we're in this ditch, like, sat there, and he starts rustling around. I'm like, keep it down. And one of the lads next to me, I can't remember who it was, he goes, he needs to shit. Tell him to fucking hold it in. One thing led to another, he ended up fucking shitting himself in this ditch. And we're all laid up in it, like, and this thing, the smell of it, I thought, I'm back in Iraq here, I'm in a thunderbox here, you know what I mean? Bear in mind, needless to say, the ambush never happened, and we made our way back, you know what I mean? And it was literally, you know, over there, you got the beaten tracks, it's like the floor looks white, doesn't it, with the full moon. Every time I turn around, he's just in the fucking crap position, just shitting everywhere, just leaving breadcrumbs for us, you know what I mean? all the way back into camp, like, and yeah, I've never let that go. Like, it's fucking, that was one of the morale boosters of the tour. But 2 days later, we all had D&V, and I had a fucking IV in the tent, and like, fucking getting blasted by the Merc coming in.
Don't see that on fucking Hollywood movies, do you?
No, do you fuck? Fucking getting the fucking S10 on to go for the shit.
The only one I can think of that's done that is the Pacific. I think did a good job of showing how fucking honking it is to be, you know, in those.
Yeah,
they did a good place, but generally
Jarhead as well. Remember Jarhead?
Yeah, I actually like that, mate. My mate said to
when he got bevied, didn't he? And then he had him fucking burning the shit pits.
Yeah, like they used to do in Vietnam and that. But I remember one of my mates was like, I was like, oh fuck, I really like Jarhead. My mate's like, well, nothing happens in it. I'm like, well, that's the point.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, all of that build up, and then he went and nothing happened. That's the point. That's the disaster in his mind. Like, to that guy, that's what the disaster was.
Yeah.
Do you watch like war movies and stuff now? Like now after the military?
No. I think the last one I watched that I didn't fucking throw the remote at the screen was American Sniper. I think American Sniper. Is American Sniper, isn't it? Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper's the American Sniper one, yeah.
I think a lot of that's pretty not precise, but it's on the right lines. You know what I mean? When it comes to fighting and stuff like that, but most of it, like you'll go, that's wrong. You know what I mean? And it's like, just pack it in. It's just easy if I don't watch it. If one comes on the telly, the missus changes his channel. It's just for the best, because I get fucking emotional with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't really find them like that interesting, to be honest, mate. Like, I read the book American Sniper, and I watched the movie, and I thought I got much more enjoyment from
doing it yourself.
The book, and yeah, the book was better to me. And like, I will watch war films, mate, but I prefer watching an old one like A Bridge Too Far or Longest Day or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Hamburger Hill and stuff like that.
Oh, mate, yeah, some good Vietnam War movies, though.
Yeah.
The best war movie of all time, Predator.
1 or 2.
Predator. There's only one Predator, mate. Predator 2's Predator 2, right? Let's just get this straight, mate.
It depends what type of warfare you're into. I like a bit of jungle, like, you know.
I mean, like, they are the most stacked blokes to ever go through the fucking jungle. None of them had DMV, mate.
Yeah, but the thing is, I went to Belize, and I was pretty jacked up, like, you know. I mean, you're fucking running, you're smashing the gym, you're on all sorts. And I come back about fucking 4 stone wet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my cock was bigger than my arms, and that's saying something. And it was like, you know, and they went out there, fucking God knows how, and they're all still massive. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's the bit that fucking winds me up.
I want to know how Jesse Ventura is carrying all that ammunition for his minigun and all that tren. Like, I don't believe that he's got room for both of those things. And they got to have rations. Like, he must be smashing 300 grams of protein a day. Where? I'm not having it. Where is all this fucking kit? But apart from
Bell-fed tren. When I got to Belize, and you know, you're patrolling through and all that, and we're all like, I think we had LMGs, we had UGLs and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, we had a fucking chain gun now, like, you know what I mean? We just fucking start cutting trees down and shit like that. And we did this up, and we got to the top of this ridge line, and then we just hammering down. We had a gun line going, just belting. Fuck, you were Jimpy, weren't you, in Afghan?
Yeah.
And we're just fucking screwing this wood line up, this wood block, like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking high as fuck, yeah. And then we all had to do a runner because all these hornets chased us.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah. Well, mate, that team in Predator was a very accomplished team as well, because both Jesse Ventura and Arnold Schwarzenegger went on to become state governors in America. Arnold Schwarzenegger in California, Jesse Ventura. So out of that, was it like a 5 or 6 man team? 2 of them became fucking governors in America. So, you know, very highly accomplished fucking teammates. Did you watch that one?
Fuck all when I went to jungle. It's malaria.
Did you get malaria?
I had symptoms of it, yeah. Fucking, we were literally...
You're not taking your little pills?
Well, I took it for about 2 weeks and I had funky dreams and I was fucking pissing dust and stuff like that. And yeah, I binned it off, absolutely binned that shit right off. And when I come back, it was about 6 months later, I went green. I had flu symptoms for about 2 weeks and got flown to fucking Liverpool Tropical Centre.
Well, how come the tropical centre is in Liverpool? Because it's got to be the least tropical place I've ever fucking been in my life. Anyone that's fucking clever comes to Liverpool universities because there's do. And I think that's where they just settled. Is it like general? Is it because obviously Liverpool used to be, back in the day, one of probably the most important places in the world because of the port, the Empire days? Do you reckon that's when it got set up?
Well, we're the 5th biggest port. You know what I mean?
Still, wow.
Well, the history of Liverpool, I love history. You know what I mean? And history all around the world, but history in New York City is like, you know, we were the first to abolish the slave trade in Liverpool. You know what I mean? And that's why we have like Toxteth and L8 and stuff like that. That was gifted, if you like. But there's so much history with Liverpool over like, you know, like trading and stuff like that. But yeah, I never became a governor or anything. just got fucking sick.
The Liverpool bit as well has really fucking really come on like last. I'm trying to think how long it'd been now. Like last 15 years maybe. Because it used to be. I was never a big fan of Liverpool, but like the development and stuff down by the waterfront now, it's fucking really nice, mate.
Yeah, they put L1 in. It's like big, you know, shopping and all that. Put all new buildings, build the museums up, restored all the museums. There's property down there. You can live on the docks and stuff now. The Heritage, which is an old, you know, Peaky Blinders, where they film Peaky Blinders, the old tobacco plants and all that for the storage. That's now getting turned into apartments. They're moving Everton football ground down there. They're putting a tram line in. Yeah, it's growing, like, you know what I mean. But I just stay away from town.
Why's that, mate?
Stay. Well, I've done the doors down there for years. You know what I mean, and it's just like, to me, it's just, I love my city, but the people and the creatures that fucking crawl around there, it's fucking. But it's like anywhere you go, you know what I mean, you've got fucking lizards everywhere, haven't you? But no, I'm in the suburbs. I'm in the poosh bit. Nice.
Right. Well, bro, we're gonna have to do a part 2. Maybe we'll do it. Well, maybe we need to do one in person, mate. You know what we need to do? We need to get a special Scouser edition of the episode. There's so many of you fuckers up there. We need to do a special, have a Scouse cultural day on the podcast.
Well, why don't you come up here and jump on one, and we'll sort out the studio and that.
Yes, mate, that sounds good, bro.
Yeah.
Let's have a sesh when I come back from Colombia, mate. Well, sorry, accountant. I mean podcast. Let's have a podcast when I come back from.
You go in Colombia?
Yeah. We'll talk about this off air, mate.
Yeah.
But bro, thanks for coming on today, mate. It's been well overdue, mate. And it's a great chatting to you, mate. Before we go though, I'll just tell people a little bit more about podcast, what you got going on, where they can find you, everything like that.
Yeah, well, I come off the podcast for a little bit, more to sort out my own mental health, business and stuff. I slowed right down, especially with Rite Flank and stuff like that as well, because I was not put enough time into my family, you know what I mean, and I sort of took a knock for it. So I put everything on the back burner. But the channel is just my name, Ste Nicholls, on YouTube. I've got loads of things planned for it this year. I've got loads of events, loads of fundraising events as well, which we'll speak about as well, to raise money, funds for the block and different charities and some kids' charities as well. So I've gone down a different route where I'm trying to help more people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. And I will link everything down in the show notes for people so they can just click on it. But bro, thanks so much for coming on tonight, mate. Really appreciate it, and I'll catch you soon.
Pleasure, mate. Absolute pleasure. Thank you, mate.
Cheers, brother.
Take it easy.